This is Dale of the Night, and this is Tarantula Cloud number 16. We're starting off with the feedings. We're looking at Millennium, my Goody Sapphire Ornamental, Polythera Metallica. Let's get started with the feedings. P. Metallica. In an Exoterra Nano setup. One of the reasons why I highly recommend Exoterra Nanos, you can get any shot you want of your animal in this enclosure if you want to film it. It's a perfect setup for filming. Love the Exoterra Nano. Continue the video with Raven, Formictibus Cancerides, Haitian Brown Bird Eater. Obviously very greedy. One of my larger tarantulas, she's pushing around 5.5 inches right now. And her coloration is obviously looking really nice right now. She's getting so big on me. I've had her for close to 2 years now, and in that span she's gone on close to 5 inches in that span. Here's Ink, a Phonopelma samani, Costa Rican zebra. Good shot of her spinnerets there. Orange, unsexed, not sure what it is yet. Just got rehoused actually. Nowhere near adult coloration, but it eats very well. Luna Lando, my mature male Vicularia pincto. Doesn't normally take down worms, but this one got taken down pretty easily by Luna. He's still eating, still going strong. I'm really happy about that. Here's Ganymede, Brachypelma Vagans, Mexican red rump. This one is around a little over a ½ inch now. Just freshly molted, around the 3/4 inch mark, close to an inch. The smaller of my two Vagans, here's the bigger one, coming up in a moment. This is Fire, Brachypelma Vagans, Mexican red rump. One of my best eaters in my collection. And this is a funny little attack here because you can't quite see it, but there's a cricket right next to her water bowl. She's struggling around with the worm, lets the cricket get eaten, and the worm gets away. Actually took the worm out. She wouldn't take it. She took the little cricket. Crazy. Genesis, Sampois Cambridgei, Trinidad Chevron. This one has been doing well in this enclosure. It really needs to be redone, but she likes it so much now. I usually just do maintenance. It's probably the ugliest enclosure I have, but she loves it in there, so I just leave her alone. Here's Olympus, Paraphysa scrophra, Chilean copper. If you're wondering why they call it the copper if you're a beginner, look at the carapace. Looks like a kind of a rusty penny. Mirror patch matches it color-wise with the white. It's a really beautiful tea. Starting to look really nice. Here's Fantasy, Cyclosternum fasciatum, Costa Rican tiger rump. One of two of my tiger rumps. You know that if you've seen previous clouds. This one was rehoused into a mini critter keeper and eaten just fine. Took down 2 crickets here, and it's really greedy. Could have taken down 4. Here's Argos, Nhandu Chromatus, the Brazilian red. Now this one didn't actually eat, but it scared the hell out of me, and this is why. It didn't look like much, but my face was right next to that enclosure. And had she run out, which I thought she was going to do, she would have literally ran out onto my hand and possibly onto my head, or it would have been a nightmare. So I'm glad she stopped there. Here's Andromeda, Nhandu Chromatus, Brazilian white striped bird eater. And I think this one obviously is a great eater. Of all my "that's a hit" captions that I put up, this one I think has the most, because that's a hit. She just vicious eater. Is due for a molt soon as well. Here's Lady Dillinger, Euathlus capistratus, the pink zebra beauty. Doesn't usually make the feeding video because it's obviously slinging and burrows. Here's Queen, Gramstola rosea, Chilean rose. This is my first tarantula and my favorite tarantula in my collection. She's very healthy right now, and she's been eating and not fasting. which is great. It's good. It's always good to see her eat. Here's Chromatus, Lasiodora perihabana, salmon pink bird eater. Not a very active tarantula at all. Literally sits right there the entire time, or I probably would have rehoused it by now if it actually was a little more active, but just chills in that corner. Here's Pandora, Paraphysa Euathlus. The species is unknown for this tarantula. Heavy Weber. And relatively good eater. Not the greatest eater, but one of the most beautiful in my collection. Here's Arclight, Brachypelma smithi, Mexican red knee. Starting to look like a red knee. Still got a long ways to go, but very healthy tarantula. And really happy I got this one. Here's Rogue, Acanthoscuria chacawana, Bolivian salmon pink. This thing is a worm addict. It likes crickets. They'll eat anything, but it really loves worms, as you can see here. The rump is getting huge, but not anywhere close to molting. Fahrenheit, Brachypelma bomi, Mexican fireleg. This one molted recently, and I'll be doing a spotlight on this one in the next week or so. Starting to lean towards the male side for this one, but we have to see with the next molt. Hopefully I can sex it properly. Orion, Gramstola pottery, Chilean rose. This is the brown color form. And those of you who have not seen this tarantula before, if you look on the carapace towards the abdomen, you can see the piece of abdomen that got stuck during her last molt, and it's probably be there for the next 2.5, possibly 3 years until she molts again. Mazeres, Thrixoparamarcati, Peru flame rump. It's one of my more unpredictable crazy teas. Beautiful tarantula. I mean, this tarantula is really one of my favorites as far as the beauty goes. And a lot of people don't know, but yes, they do have pink toes, just like an avic. Let's move to another one of my favorites in my collection, Willow, Pamphobedius fortis, a Colombian brown. Some call it the giant Colombian brown. Underrated in the hobby. Kind of a all over the place tea. You know, it's beautiful, but it's not at the same time. But it's one of my favorites because of that. It's very interesting tea and not aggressive at all, not a hair kicker. Although the hairs, if you get them inside of your hands or on your skin, it will tear you apart. Here's Cotton Candy, Gramstola Maule, Chilean Gold Fluff. Absolutely in my top 5 most beautiful teas in my collection. This one is actually really readily available in Europe. It's starting to become more so over here in the United States. If you can get your hands on one of these, I really recommend it. Really would like to see this tea in more people's collection because it's really a beauty. Here's Phoenix, Brachypelma Emilia, Mexican painted red leg. And you'll notice something instantly about this tarantula. The trademark triangle that these Emilias have, look at hers. During her last molt, it got ripped off down the middle, and she looks like a Pamphobedius Emilia. She's not a hybrid by any stretch. And here's a little sweep shot of that was my Gramstola Maule, and this is my Emilia. And that carapace with the triangle really shocked me. And this is her 2 weeks earlier when she molted, and I couldn't believe it. And then I looked at her molt, and you can actually see that it really wasn't something that went wrong with the molt. She actually had a faded pattern in her carapace that made this pattern possible. It wasn't anything that was torn off for her at all. It was actually in her carapace from previous molts, and I checked some of the molts that I kept for her, and they all have that little light piece, and it kind of grew into this. So I'm kind of interested to see how she's going to look in the future with that Pamphobedius look she's got going on there. It's really strange, but it's actually really cool. And like I said, hopefully I can see where that goes in the future. Moving on to the molts. This is the most recent ones in the last couple of weeks. This is Baby Gray, Phonopelma chalcodes, Desert Blonde. Completely shocked me. Turned out to be male. One of my first tarantulas I ever owned. This was actually one that I bought with Brownie, my Chalcogoldini, which you'll see here in a moment, which also molted. And this one, like I said, completely shocked me. Didn't think it was a male at all. I actually thought my other Phonopelma chalcodes juvenile was actually a male, and this one actually turned out to be male. But at least I have a bigger one, the breeder 2. His shadow, Paraphysa, Emilia, the Venezuelan sun tiger. Couldn't get a shot of my sun tiger, but down in that hole, it molted. Rarely see this one. It's been coming out a little more lately, but not. Still very reclusive. This is Callisto, Avicularia versicolor, the Antilles, or the Martinique pink toe. Molted, still very electric blue, a little over an inch now. Here's Indiana, Polytheria fasciata, the Sri Lankan ornamental, molted. And 3 of my pokies, the fasciata, the striata, and the Sophisca highland, are all going to get rehoused here very soon. They're all around the same size. And this one really has some beautiful coloration going on with it. Really like the iridescent feet there, the yellow. Really looking nice as a pokey. A little bit of a change of pace here from the molts. Is a death. The most recent death I've had in my collection, named Spirit. This is my wolf spider or ghost spider. I never could completely confirm it, but most likely it was a wolf spider. I believe it was a male. Was eating very well. Ate better than most of my tarantulas did. It ate very much like a tarantula. Never molted. I found this one at my workplace. It was sitting on the bathroom floor, and I picked it up. We were mopping the floors in there, and actually, to save it from being killed by the chemicals, I actually brought it home, and it lived for a very long time in my care, relatively speaking, for a spider. So here's Brownie, Grammostola pokerpeas, the Chalcogoldini. This is the one I bought the same day as Baby Gray, and they both turned out to be males. This one, I could really tell with Baby Gray's molt, my Phonopelma chalcodes, that it was a male, but this one is actually a little bit different. I really had to take a good look. You can take a look for yourself, but to me, it's a male. I don't really see the prominent flap there, but once I show you this guy out in the open in some upcoming vids, you'll see that it in my opinion, it's a male based off of what I can see down there. And the last molt we have here is another pokey. It's my Polytheria striata, named Phantom, Mysore ornamental. And what you're looking at here is actually the pokey in the molting process, just at the beginning. It's actually starting to pull away from the exoskeleton. You can't really see it here. It's kind of hard to see, but I thought it was some pretty strange, eerie looking footage of this tarantula while it's molting with all the webs that it webbed up in there. You can take a look here. It's actually starting to pull away there. It's really hard to tell in there. But like I said, all the pokies are going to get rehoused, and I'll be able to show you guys what these guys all look like right now. Including my ornata, which is starting to look really insane. Hopefully I'm gonna get 3 more pokies here in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm looking to add some more pokies to my collection. The goal is obviously I'm going to own all the pokies. That's the goal for me as far as my pokies. That's my favorite genus. So that's gonna do it for Tarantula Cloud number 16. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You get 1 Tarantula Cloud per month now, as opposed to every 2 weeks as it has been since I have all the reptiles to do now. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, guys.